directly to.
Directly to.
Yeah.
Let's focus on that one.
But in conversation, you know.
Yes, yes. I like the backdrop. The backdrop is investment. Open that for you.
Excel.
Oh, nice. Could you just carry it away and put it on?
Yeah, just lift it, put it aside then. Yep.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Good day, St. Lucia, and welcome to the program, Agriculture on the Move. My name is Philip Sidney, your host. Today with me is Mr. Barry Innocent. He is the country representative for CADI here in St. Lucia. And today we'll be speaking to him concerning CADI's activities and, of course, CADI's Open Day. Welcome to the program, Mr. Innocent.
Thank you, Mr. Sidney. My pleasure to be here.
Great. Okay. CADI, Caribbean Agriculture and Research and Development Institute.
Yes.
Tell us when CADI was originally organized in St. Lucia or in the Caribbean, and tell us about the mandate of CADI.
Okay. CADI was established in 1974. In particular, on the 5th of December, it was fully established by CARICOM, the Caribbean community, and the leadership that leads it. The main mandate of CADI is to basically look at agricultural research, but also rural development. Now, with the way things are evolving in the agricultural sector, our research has now extended beyond just agriculture. We're now looking at food systems research in terms of not just looking at the agronomy of the plant, but the value addition. And also we're looking at going further into culinary arts. We're looking at every aspect of the system of food, from agricultural production, whether it be livestock or plant, or even fisheries to a certain extent. And we have been doing this from 1974 up to now, and the technologies have evolved, some have changed. Now we have the new, what they call IT and computer versions of different things, and it's all been instituted and integrated into what we're doing.
Okay. I remember CADI years ago, because I remember, if I can remember, we have people who were the manager of the research station down in Dennery. We had people like Mr. David DeMark, Ronnie Pilgrim, you know, quite a few. I know Mr. Calix George was
very good agriculturists.
Definitely. And they were working in tandem with the ministry when it came to research.
Right.
A lot of work was being done. I know there was not only research per se, but they looked at research varietal trials, spacing trials, and stuff like that. And there was also planting material that was given to farmers for ongoing farming. Where are you all at with that? Because I know there was breadfruit, there was plantain, sorrel, yams, various cultivars, sweet potato, the whole works.
Yes.
Where are we with those things?
Well, the work continues, but like I said before, the times has caused
changed.
other things to change. For instance, all of us are aware this current heat wave that's hitting the entire Caribbean, and CADI has no other option but responsibly respond. So we are now looking at bringing in our collaboration with the World Vegetable Center, we are looking at bringing in varieties that are heat resistant.
Correct.
I know for St. Lucia in particular, we'll be bringing in heat resistant tomato varieties, heat resistant vegetables in terms of sweet pepper, chili pepper, and even the amaranthus, which have shown a lot of interest as a superfood. So we're bringing in some of these, that batch for now. We're going to test them, validate them, and then we're bringing in some furthermore in response to the current heat wave. And as you know, the climate change phenomena, again, is pushing against the agricultural sector, causing severe problems from the severe winds, the severe floods, the increase in pest and disease as a result of the phenomena. And CARDI, in our responsible approach, we have been doing a lot of work in terms of bringing in variety that are resistant to some of this pest and disease and resistant to some of these so-called phenomena. For example, I've already mentioned a few, but for example, we are looking at, from, again, with World Vegetable Center in headquarters in Taiwan, we're looking at various sweet potato resistant weevils, resistant to
weevil.
Sweet potato plants that are showing resistance to the sweet potato weevil. We're currently working on that, not in St. Lucia, but in some of the other islands. And we're also looking at drought-resistant crops, saline-resistant crops in terms of what we have in right now, where the sea intrusion, or what you call the high level of the sea coming in
salinity.
Salinity. So we're looking at crops that can do all those type of things, even livestock. So there's a lot of discussion, a lot of research ongoing, not just in St. Lucia, in all the 14 countries that CARDI has membership in and offices in. We're all working together for the Caribbean to ensure we do our best to reposition the Caribbean in light of the current phenomena of climate change.
Yeah, and also looking at
the youth.
Yes, and also looking at our food and nutrition security strategy.
Very important, extremely important.
Yeah.
That's why we are also looking at work in terms of youth involved in agriculture.
Yes.
Because we realize a lot of the farmers are aged. Most of them seem to be between the ages of about 49 going up to 55, 65.
65, 70.
So we are now looking at various projects and initiatives that can get more youth involved in agriculture. There's an inclination towards using more computers and using drones and all that type of thing in collaboration with our Ministry of Agriculture from different countries, you know.
Like people say, to sex it up for the youth.
Make it interesting for them, make it interesting for them so they can get involved. And there are many things happening. Some of our IT specialists are looking at what can be done to make the agricultural sector one that has a greater leniency on remote control farms, you know. So there's a lot of discussion centered around that in preparing the youth involvement in agriculture.
In terms of your work program, your annual work program, are you all working in tandem with the ministry, or especially the Plant Research Division?
Yes. Well, yes. Recently, this year, from last year, December into now, the CARDI St. Lucia, we have been working with the Ministry of Agriculture Research and Development team in controlling the South American palm weevil. We've done extensive trainings on the management of the South American palm weevil in terms of how to make the traps, how to use the traps, and the Ministry of Agriculture has run with it in terms of they have a database on where they have sighted the South American, where they've sighted the weevil, and numbers and populations of what different pockets in the country. And that data is open to be shared. And we have also taken a step further. Last year also, I think we did some work with Hotel Chocolat, where we trained the Hotel Chocolat farmers that are growing coconut intercropped with cocoa. Because the whole chocolate thing is important to Hotel Chocolat. So we train the farmers with the Ministry of Agriculture in pest and disease control for both cocoa and coconuts, and when you have that integration happening, it was very successful, and Ministry of Agriculture staff was there and supported, and they themselves are very good at what they do, the research and development team. And our work continues with them. We are hopefully, we got some, what they call it, we got some natural or organic pesticide for the mite, coconut mite, because there's a critical issue in St. Lucia. And early next year, we plan to now do the trials to test it out in the field. A few farmers have already been contacted who are willing to allow us to use their coconut trees and apply this natural pesticide. We're hoping that it will work. Yeah, the research shows that it should work.
Do you have any germplasm bank at CARDI in your field in Dennery, so that if farmers want planting material, they can source you?
Yes, that's a very important question and a very important point. For us, yes, we are working on and building on our sweet potato germ bank. I have collected, and with the help of my staff and others, collected a lot of different types of sweet potatoes. But our greatest pursuit is to get the 6-week sweet potato. Some say it's a myth, but others say it's for real. We've tried a few.
And the Mandela variety,
correct,
which Ronnie Pilgrim, I think, was able to initiate.
Yes. So we are trying to bring in some from outside of St. Lucia. Antigua has said they have it.
Okay.
I know Bahamas had it because I saw the documentation of the experimental effect. So we're trying to bring it in because we saw that as a very important type of sweet potato.
Yes.
I mean, if it truly exists and we can bring it in St. Lucia, it will be wonderful because you're talking about a sweet potato that can produce tubers or sweet potatoes in 6 weeks. So can you imagine post-disaster, a hurricane like what Maria did to Dominica, and people want food. Just as a cucumber can do it in 6 to 7 weeks, imagine a sweet potato that can produce tubers or sweet potatoes in 6 weeks. Right. That's a massive contribution to national food security.
Definitely.
So we have made that a very important component of our work, especially in St. Lucia. We hope to get it in from either Antigua or Bahamas. But we're building a gene bank for it, getting different varieties, planting it, and we also building a gene bank for the yams. Okay. We recognize that the yam planting material availability seems to be depleting.
It's depleting, yes.
Yes. So we are in searching the Caribbean. We try to import from Jamaica, but Jamaica had their own issues. Dominica had their own issues. The French side, Guadeloupe, have expressed interest. They have the blue or the purple couscous. They have the white couscous and they have the yellow couscous. And they also have a few other types of yams, like the white yams, yellow yams. So we are desperately trying to bring them into St. Lucia.
Okay.
Of course, working in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture, Plant Health.
Yes, to ensure
unit, to make sure we don't bring in any pest and disease.
But some years ago, I don't know if you remember, there were a few varieties from Africa, the Belep and the Kelembayo.
Yes.
That's extinct, eh?
Well, it don't exist. They still have a few farmers here and there pockets that have it.
Okay.
But that's what Kari wants to bring all these.
Yes, I'm saying,
and put them on. We collect it and planting, creating a bank.
Yes.
So if in case again any extreme weather pattern happens,
yes,
that Kari can either have some material that either tissue culture can do tissue culturing of, or we can do mini setting and distribute to farmers. So we're constantly building yams, sweet potatoes. We're also working on cassava.
Beautiful.
And we are also looking at, for the future next year, because of the increase in high blood pressure in St. Lucia and diabetes, the research has shown that beet, there is sugar beet and there is beet. Beet are an extremely superfood which has nitrates in it.
Yes.
Whereas turmeric has nitric acid, but turmeric, you have to drink turmeric with something like cayenne pepper to stimulate, to create the nitrates, but beet naturally has the nitrates. You know what nitrates do? Nitrates cause the blood vessels, arteries and veins to expand, to allow the blood to flow. So it's a very important crop, and we're looking next year to bring in some beet and introduce beet production into St. Lucia. And another thing we found very interesting, again, Kari tries to respond to the needs of the community. Again, because of the high level of diabetes in the country and in the Caribbean, we found out that there's a plant called agave that is highly spoken of by a lot of the naturalist medicine users. Well, agave syrup is imported in a big way in St. Lucia. And we found that agave can be grown in St. Lucia.
Very good, very good, very good.
And in fact, St. Lucia already has agave.
Okay.
But people don't know what it is. Yeah. There's the Caribbean agave and there's also the blue agave right in St. Lucia. Wow. People grow it like an ornamental plant, like a flower, but they don't know what it is.
Okay.
So Kari wants to look at next year sometime to grow it, process it, and then introduce that to as livelihoods for the youth and persons interested. So we can now reduce our food import bill, at the same time take care of the high diabetic situation in St. Lucia. Great. So most of our research is supposed to be is kind of relevant research.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we are due for our break.
Okay.
You are watching Agriculture on the Move. Stay tuned. We'll be back very, very soon.
Everyone is at risk for getting a foodborne illness. While most foodborne illness cases are mild and go unreported, long-term health complications and even death can occur from a foodborne illness. Foodborne illnesses are caused by contamination of food at any stage of preparation. If you are a food handler involved in home-based food production, meat, fish, chicken, or a big shop, as a food vendor, how you prepare food can put your customers at risk. Do you know the risks and how to avoid them? The St. Lucia Bureau of Standards can help you.
For more information, contact the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards at 456-0546 or email slbs@candw.lc or visit the website at www.slbs.org.lc. St. Lucia Bureau of Standards, making quality and standards our way of life.
Welcome back to the program, Agriculture on the Move. With me, of course, is Mr. Barry Innocent, who is the country representative for CADI St. Lucia. And we're talking about CADI as an organization that has been established in St. Lucia for quite a while, and their contribution to the agricultural sector over the years. Yeah. Before we get into your open day, I just want to mention, when we talk about sweet potato, I don't know if you realize that there's a lot of cross-pollination with the sweet potato. There's some new varieties that are just showing up. Yes. I think this is an area of interest. Yes. I think you all should be looking into this because I'm seeing the colors are changing.
That is true.
Yes, so I think it's an area that you all should be able to.
Well, we already are. I mean, we are doing a lot of work on the characterization of the sweet potato.
All right.
I mean, not in St. Lucia right now, but the other countries. Mm-hmm. St. Lucia had done it, I think, in 2015, but things have changed since then. Mm-hmm. So there's another country doing the characterization because, as you already said, so there have been some sort of what appears to be some kind of a plant breeding happening on its own.
Yes.
So we are looking at that, and we're also looking at bringing in not just sweet potatoes, but we're looking at also the cassava, which I've mentioned before, the yams, and also some work on dashing. Mm-hmm, but these are critical food.
But you know what I remember, man, the sorrel, man.
Oh yes.
that was one at Christmas time. CADI was, selling a lot of stuff.
Well, we're already selling,
You started already?
Yeah, they started already.
Very good.
We are also, if anybody has it, we are also pursuing what was said to be the all-year yielding sorrel plant.
Yes.
We've gotten a few we've tried. It didn't really work, but we're still trying to get it. If you have it, let us have it because we want to make it available to everybody. Okay. Because there are a lot of rural livelihoods that are dependent on the agricultural sector. I would love to have some of these seeds to plant.
Beautiful, yes. Great. CADI Open Day. Over the years, I remember CADI, that was a big thing for CADI. Mm. We were invited to the CADI field station in Dennery, Dennery. Yes. And we saw so much. CADI was able to show us so much of what they were doing in the experimental work, and of course they were giving us a background of what they did over the year. Yes. I know it is still on, but it's not happening on the field anymore. No, so tell us again, why not the field and why elsewhere now?
Yes, the thing is, CADI not having a country representative scientist for almost 7 years now. Okay. There was not much innovative work going on. We were doing more just commercial production and planting material distribution and production. Mm-hmm. But now that I'm on board, the first year is just building stock, but by next year, December, we would have been doing things that we can now showcase at the field station. Mm. But for now, what we're doing this year is we're looking at having what do we call the Open Day exhibition, but also the Home Food Systems Conference. At the Home Food Systems Conference, during the opening ceremony, we will showcase what we've been working on for this year, in particular in St. Lucia. And this has different components in it. Because the coconut industry is so important to us, as you already know, when you drive by the roadside, you see so many people selling coconut water by the roadside. Mm-hmm. And the statistics last shown that there are about 150 families that depend on coconut water. There's coconut oil, both virgin and pressed coconut oil, both virgin and processed coconut oil at massive supermarkets. And coconut is a very important crop. Mm-hmm. As a result, there was a project that CADI was the main implementer for. It was the Caribbean Coconut Industry Development Project. Through this project, we decided this year for Open Day that we'll try to promote the coconut again by having a 4-category competition. We're looking at the best decorated bouquet, where you must use coconut plant parts in the bouquet. Okay. And then we're also looking at the best decorated coconut cake, right? Because there are a lot of creative arts people here also. We're also looking at the best interior decorated room, The room will be 9 feet by 6 feet. And then we're also looking at the biggest coconut cake. And I'm hoping that someone in St. Lucia can break the Guinness Book of Records. Tallest or biggest or widest. All to promote coconut because of how important it is. The entire plant, all plant parts are so important. And the prices are very big. We have $1,000 EC for the first prize, $750 EC for the second prize, $500 for the third prize. And people that are interested, today at midnight will be the deadline to send your registration forms in. And on the Cardi Day, open day or Cardi Day, we will be looking at, which is Monday the 11th of December, at the Blue Coral Mall. There we will be looking at the finalists and judging the finalists from 9 a.m. And then at 11 a.m. we start the Home Food System Conference. At the Home Food System Conference, it has two arms of responsibility. One arm is for national food security. We're trying to encourage people to get interest in growing what they eat and eat what they grow in backyard farming or home farming.
Eat fresh St. Lucia's best.
Yes, because we recognize that during COVID what happened?
Yes.
You know, food became an issue.
Yes.
And if the price of food going up, we want people to be able to at least find us a home food system that works for them, where they can produce something that they can eat. If they cannot buy, they can grow it from both livestock and plants and even fisheries. Okay. Last year at our Home Food System Conference, we had exhibits of homegrown fish as a protein. You have tilapia in an aquarium. You don't have as many as an aquaponic farmer would have, but you have a certain amount that you can actually cook and eat. This year we were doing that also, but this year we're introducing a few other fish species. We've been working with the fisheries department, and they have a fish called the paco. It's a very big fish. And we work with them to showcase it at the event. And they also will showcase the shrimps and also tilapias. But also, there's a fish called the mele. Locally it's called the mele, but it's actually called the mountain mullet.
The mele.
Mele.
Yeah.
But the real scientific name is mountain mullet.
Okay. We'll
also be showcasing that to show that it also has potential as an alternative. Right, so we're looking at that also. But at that event, we will be bringing in some specialists to come in. We will have Chef Orlando coming in to display how you can creatively use some of our local produce and make some interesting dishes out of it. We'll be having there's a Superior Fish Supplies in collaboration with Marine Fish Chef and Matnik. Are now looking at what is called cage culture of the red drumfish. So they'll be coming and do a presentation to persons to introduce them to red drumfish and how it can be cooked and how it can be worked with. We also have someone looking at how you can take local fruits and juices and make popsicles. And we also have someone looking at the coconut water industry and what can be done in the water, in terms of processing the water. Of course, we're going to have other presentations on home food systems. Different types of aquaponics and hydroponics will be in display and will also be presented to the audience. And then we have the exhibition right after, where people can come and see what they can do and see samples of it. So that's the rundown of what's likely to happen on Monday the 11th. Now, Cardi Day is normally on December the 5th, or it's centered around December the 5th. Some countries do it some days before, some do it on the day itself, some days a few days after. We decided to do ours a few days after to give the participants in the competition a little more time, a little more leeway to prepare themselves. And we're hoping that they will participate to this competition.
So how many participants are you hoping to accommodate at that exhibition?
Well, we're looking at this, having at least 6 finalists for each of the 4 categories.
Oh, okay.
We've had quite a few persons that have already registered, so we're hoping that they continue in their thrust and that we can shortlist to at least 6 finalists for each of the categories who will then showcase their products at the event.
Is there an opening ceremony?
Yes.
Okay.
The opening is at 11 a.m. and it is subsequently, after it, then you go into the conference itself. Okay.
So what at the conference, what is expected? Give a...
Well, like I said before, at the conference, we will have Chef Orlando.
Oh, that's the conference?
He's going to do a presentation.
That's how it's going to be?
Yeah. And then we have someone talking about the red drumfish, a new type of fish that they introduced to St. Lucia from the French side.
Okay, that's how you look at it.
Yeah, and then, as I mentioned before, all this presentation will be done. And then to give us insight into other ways of doing food, and other forms of generating and producing food.
Have you all gotten the schools involved in that activity?
The sad thing is, school is about to close,
right.
or more or less has closed. So in my discussion with Ministry of Education officials, it was not seemed possible to involve too much of the schools at this point because school is more or less closing right now, if not closed.
Right.
You'll notice the traffic has declined because
True.
not many students going to school right now. So they have not. But hopefully in the new year, we will do something else and involve them in it.
Okay.
Yes.
Moving forward, when that event is over, I'm sure you have an annual work program for Kali, right?
Of course, yes.
What is expected? What do you expect to get from Kali for 2020 through 2024?
Lots of stuff, you know. Let's try to name a few. For instance, of course, the heat-resistant varieties, we want to bring them in and validate them and test them in the St. Lucian context. Also, we're looking at the testing of eucalyptus trees, because eucalyptus is a natural insect repellent. So we're looking at, for example, planting eucalyptus trees alongside coconut trees to see if that will repel the mites and even the South American palm weevil.
Good.
We're ready to cook it and getting the seeds in. We started speaking to the Ministry of Agriculture Plant Health Departmental Unit. We're looking to do that, to try it out. We're also looking at the agave, like I mentioned to you.
So it's a biological control?
Yes, biological control. So we're looking to look to some work with the agave also, and show how it can be processed into the agave syrup, which can be a new form of livelihood for some people, and even the eucalyptus trees.
Yes.
When you generate the oil from the leaves, it's a very expensive oil. So we're hoping that solutions and persons looking to have new livelihoods and looking for self-employment will be interested in coming and producing eucalyptus oil. We're also looking at doing some work again, like I mentioned, the mullet fish.
Right.
We want to grow it and see how big it can really get, because when I made in Dominica, I saw some almost 12-inch looking ones. So we want to have it grow it on site and see how really big it can get. Statistically, you had different types of lengths, but we want to grow it in a controlled environment and watch how big it can get, what weight it can get. So we're doing that type of experiments. We also want to do some work on the bananas in terms of banana tasting. We are aware that the red banana, which some people like and some don't, but it's a very healthy banana in terms of the nutrition content of it. It has antioxidants, anti-inflammatory properties, minerals. It has a lot more nutritive value than the normal Cavendish. But it's not very popular.
Okay.
But we want to do some taste testing. We'll give Ministry of Tourism, go in the hotels and actually have the guests there do some eye appeal testing, taste testing, and field testing, and see what comes up.
Okay.
If the tourists there who have a different mindset than us, because in St. Lucia, because of the local name for the red bananas, I don't want to mention it there.
Yeah, I know.
It's a kind of a turn-off.
I know.
But the tourists don't know that local name.
I know. Yes.
So we're going to do some taste testing. Based on the countries and how they respond and the type of data we get, it can speak to a certain direction for the agricultural sector in terms of bananas. We also want to do a lot of work on, there's a sensor, again using IT. There's a sensor that we have a project for, that it can automatically detect the South American palm weevil if it flies by anywhere in a certain parameter of the sensor. So we put it in certain trees and taking data so we know actually how many of these weevils are actually around.
Definitely.
So that's, yes.
So as we about to end, I'll give you a few moments to tell us again about the open day in terms of the dates, where, and the time it starts. Okay,
so folks, the Kali Open Day will be at the Blue Coral Mall in Castries in the Boulevard on the second floor. The conference room on the second floor will be where the conference will take place, and the exhibition will be in the general lounge area of the second floor. The competitions will take place also in the general lounge floor. For the interior decoration, there will be the 6 by 9 feet booths on the second floor lounge area that the persons that are shortlisted will go in there and do their thing and showcase their talent. We believe that interior decoration, there are quite a few talented people around, and we want to let the world and let the people see what they can do and give them some more visibility. So when you're having your wedding and you're having your christening and your different events, some of these people, you can contact them and they can provide the services to you. Likewise, the bouquet competition, and the bouquet competition is open to all flower shops and anybody that does flower decoration. It's open to everybody. Yes, the biggest coconut cake and the best decorated coconut cake competition is open to the bakeries, to chefs, to restaurants. If you're out there and you have that skill set, come and showcase.
Yeah, man. Very good.
You might get an opportunity to promote your skill set and promote your product. So come in and be a part of this great event as we try to encourage innovation and creativity and productivity of our community.
Definitely.
Thanks.
Well said. Well, Comrade, I want to thank you for being here. I wish you success on that day. And of course, and I'm looking forward for bigger and better things for Cardi in this 23-24. Thanks again for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You've been watching Agriculture on the Move. Thank you for viewing the program. As you heard, as Cardi Open Day, and we're hoping that you all will participate in a big way, you know, and to ensure that, of course, we eat fresh. St. Lucia's best. Agriculture is our business. And remember, we have to eat what we produce here in St. Lucia. Thank you again. I'm Philip Sidney saying goodbye and see you again. Thank you.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.